really do dislike my commute to work, especially on the weekdays. However, when it's Sunday morning, there's no traffic. This is awesome. Here's the deal for today. I got the last bit of wheat to spray for the fungicide. We put the skinnies on the sprayer 2 days ago. Sprayed all day yesterday. And I got all of our smaller fields done. So this morning I'm going to go up. We got about 105 acre block in one spot, 20 acres in another. It's nice, easy running, quick. I'll get that done, and then I can load back up and go back to spraying corn, which is going to be a little bit more of a challenge now because without the floaters I have to run rows in the cornfields. I'll figure it out. The reason for this application that we're doing on the wheat is more or less to protect the head, the grain head on the wheat plant from any sort of disease. We got the chance for head scab and a couple other things around here. Mainly the head scab is the biggest one that you're trying to protect from because that can rob a lot of yield from you. So you go out, and this application is a fungicide and an insecticide. So you're protecting from the disease and you're protecting from the bugs. The bugs will start to eat the plant, which introduces the disease through whatever, where the bugs eat off, and it opens up the leaves, and then the disease has a way into the plant. So two different things there we're going after, and that's going to be kind of on the head, and then some of it was on the flag leaf, which flag leaf they're finding is very important to protect on your wheat crop because it produces something like 60 to 70% of your photosynthates for heading and your grain fill, and you really want to protect that. That's adding your sugars and your starches and everything into the grain fill. So keeping that protected is extremely important, and we have a pretty nice looking wheat crop, even though it got in pretty late last year and we had to skip around and find dry ground. A lot of the fields that we planted wheat on weren't where we originally planned to plant wheat, and that's why it took me so long yesterday to spray, because I sprayed it like 130 acres, and I think it was an average field size of 5 acres. It's a lot of folding and unfolding. It takes a lot of time, but today I should be able to knock this out pretty quick, and I can get back to this corn ground because I got some corn pre-emerge that needs to go on this afternoon or early tomorrow morning before the corn comes out of the ground. Well, I'm moving along pretty good. I got about 30 or so acres of this wheat left to spray, which changed varieties about halfway through this property, and the second one is not quite as far along as the first one was. The first one was about 50% flower, and this one just getting ahead on it, which should be fine. Timing is a tad early, but I'm up here now. I gotta spray it. It's better off to have it on here now, and I'm not going to have a chance to get all washed out and come back up here to finish, so I'll just finish it off. Got a phone call from the boss a couple minutes ago. He's broke down, that new corn planter, which, what a bad day to have that happen because it's Sunday, so obviously nobody's open to help us out and get it fixed. Second thing is, tomorrow's Memorial Day. Nobody's going to be open to help us get that fixed, so we're down with that one for a couple of days. I guess he's just going to go and get in the bean planter and start throwing some beans in the ground. I'm going to finish up this spraying here and go get some bean ground sprayed. There's one farm that we have that's got a lot of weeds coming in, so that's pretty disappointing. He was moving along real good, and it's very unfortunate, but these things happen. You work through it, you get it figured out. Nice thing about auto steer, I don't have to use both hands. But spraying wheat, the fungicide on wheat is real cool. Get to go, I'm going about 10.5 miles an hour right now, which is also why it's so bumpy. These fields are a little rough. It's very rocky ground. We pick a lot of rocks on these fields whenever we have to till it. So we do our best to no-till up here because it's pretty difficult to manage the main crop, which is the rocks. This place ought to be a quarry, but it does grow a good crop. Even though a lot of what we plant, you're literally planting in between rocks. And get this thing set up here. Go ahead, there you go, push the button. But fungicide also, you know, you want to go a little faster. I'm using a twin jet nozzle, so it's on an angle forward and backwards out of the nozzle, which gives you like a more maximum coverage on the crop. And you want to go a little faster, keep that pressure high, so we have a lot of real small droplets and a lot of really good coverage on it. And you know, the main reason that we're doing all this is, like I said before, about protecting from the diseases and the insects, and then the insects cause the ability for the diseases to get into the plant. And it's more or less like a medicine, you know, like an antibiotic for wheat, I guess, which is pretty cool. Lots and lots of science behind all this stuff. I'm gonna get out and just have a look at it down on the ground level, see what we got. We're about mid-thigh, which is pretty tall, and we're gonna get kind of two crops out of it, because we take the wheat for the grain and then we take the grass for the straw. We got a pretty good stem happening to it, but you can see we're already starting to show some pretty good signs that I'm a little late on the fungicide, but we got the heads coming, so they'll be protected, and the rest of it, hopefully it deters it from getting any worse. There's not really a good curative aspect to putting the fungicide down, but it should prevent it from getting any worse than it already has been and protect our yield. So a little change in plans. I was gonna go put some pre-emerge down for the soybeans, but got a phone call from one of our guys playing corn. Says, no, you can't do that. Just go roll the windows up in my truck because it's gonna rain. We weren't having forecast to have any rain today, but it is what it is. So now I gotta get this truck moved for the sprayer up next to it. And yes, I'm out of breath running around. Just put a little straw away so it doesn't get wet. And then load the corn up, and I'm gonna, or the corn pre-emerge up and go spray that, because that corn's gonna come out of the ground pretty much any minute now, and I need to get that stuff on before that. So, time to run around like crazy, man, you know, just another day. Now I sit here, I wait, I have to pump the nitrogen out of this tank onto the truck in that tank so that I can load the sprayer off the truck, because the original plan was to put the soybean mix in the sprayer and go take care of that 55 acres. Pre-emerge is in here, so I can't load the sprayer here because I can't use the inductor. So hopefully I can get that done, get down the road and spray off at least one load before it starts to storm, which isn't supposed to last long, maybe 20 minutes, but still, you know, I can't do that other spraying because there's Roundup on it, and you got a rain fast time for these herbicides. So it is what it is. We'll figure something out. Might as well hydrate in the meantime. I don't know, can you see the halo around the sun right now? As far as I know, that's bad news. Now I'm spraying in the rain. It's coming down pretty good, which is okay. It's actually good, because though this is not the perfect time to be spraying, because it's going to get muddy on me and these fields lay wet anyway. I got to get the product on the field before the corn comes out of the ground. And also, there's one field that the corn was starting to spike out of the ground a little bit, and this is going to wash that nitrogen off of it so it doesn't kill it. So that is a good thing, and I'm happy about that. It just makes it a little bit of a pain to see. Change the climate over here. And we're gonna do this 40 and then we're gonna shut her down for the day. Is it gonna rain or not? It rained, then it stopped, and then it rained, then it stopped. Too wet for me to spray. I'm just sinking in the mud. Corn planters are shut down. I'd say that's a good end of the Sunday. Time to go and lay some hardwood floor in a new house. See you next time.